Hello, my Libra friends, and welcome to the second half of July. And right about the time this video comes out, Mercury should, thank God, be going direct. It goes direct on the 12th of July. And so for those of you who have felt some frustration over the last month in terms of communication, and that can literally be with a person or an organization, or the government. I mean, it can really be anything. You should be getting answers you've been waiting for, or at least feel like you made your point, and that the give and take is starting to flow again. And some of you may have been frustrated waiting on paperwork, having things break down, and that should really be resolving itself for the most part by the 12th. And what a great way to welcome in on the 20th our beautiful new moon in Cancer. I think that's going to be the start of some really lovely emotional times for people, because as we move towards the end of the month, we have Jupiter sextile Neptune, which is also a really positive emotional energy that sometimes brings with it some good luck. And so all I have to say is you've got quite a bit to be looking forward to at the end, by the end of the month. Ooh, love that. Love that. Okay, what's going on there? Yeah, so I definitely have to say your outcome is gorge, but along the way you've got a couple fives and a lot of anxiety. This anxiety card, as you can tell, is not the most beautiful card, but I do want to let you know that this is not outside of you, this is inside of you. So it seems that rather than having some really intense situation coming at you that's going to cause you anxiety, it's just a generalized sense of anxiety, which, by the way, is really understandable right now for all of us on this planet, right? But what I want to say with that is, especially with this double five energy, fives are always having to work something out, right? So I would assume that, you know, especially coming out of this Mercury retrograde. Oh, and by the way, this is just your near future and more generalized messaging for you. Things are on their way to work out for the better for you on many levels, especially by the end of the month. So please try to, however you deal with anxiety in a healthy way, just try and shelve it a little bit, because as long as you're doing what you can do, as long as you're facing a situation head on, taking the steps you need to take care of it, and by the way, Libras are always excellent at that, everything will work out for you. Your outcome is really beautiful, and it's interesting. What this means when I look at it is that you have a lot of power and a lot of beauty and a lot of creativity, and you are literally able to create something out of nothing. And you're a magnet. So right now, rather than having some really yang, outward forcing energy where you've got to really push your way through something, there's a lot of power that can come to you by standing your ground, being gracious and beautiful, creative, and magnetizing to yourself what you need rather than going after it. And the message that is totally in synchronicity with that is you don't owe anybody any explanation for your actions. Libra, especially Libra women, well, women in general, but oftentimes feel like they need to explain themselves, and because they're very, people-oriented people lots of times. This is saying you are beautiful the way you are, you're powerful the way you are, you can attract to you anything that you want or need, and you don't need to explain to anybody why you're doing that or how you're doing it. What a cool message for you this month. Definitely in your relationship sector, for some of you, and this is just for people that are in the situation, it's not for anyone else. So I'm specifically talking to Libras that have just been going through a difficult time in their relationship world, whether it's a breakup or rough times in a personal relationship. The message is it's just getting better now. The worst is over, and you're sailing into smoother waters, and you're on to a new day. Okay, so that, along with this gorgeous energy at the end of your reading, and what I know is happening astrologically, I hope that offers you some solace for those of you who have been having a hard time, especially in the love department, whether that's romantic or if that's having to do with family or friends. For the rest of you, because this is such a well-balanced and beautiful reading, in your relationship world, I think that you know best, that you know if you're in a good relationship, you know if you're in a shaky relationship, and you know how to really work things out if they need to be worked out. Because overall, there's this just really positive, powerful forward movement in this reading towards stronger days, happier days, and like I said, literally being able to magnetize what you need to you. So for those of you Libras who have gone through a hard time recently with love, if it's a relationship that needs to be let go of, please let it go as soon as possible, because what you're coming into is now being able to draw to you what you want and need, rather than what it is you just went through. So I hope that gave you some information that's useful, and I will definitely be checking in with you next month, my friends, and until then, stay safe.